We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Take a deep breath, y'all. I invite you to close your eyes and go ahead and get comfy in your chair. We're going to do a thing called the God vibration. And all we do is take the word God and we just intone it together, connecting with those around us and allowing that healing vibration to flow through our bodies and through our being, as it were. And then that's going to lead us directly into our meditation with Reverend Yolanda. So all we do is we take a deep breath and we go like this. Let's take another deep breath and do that again. And one last time.
And I'm going to encourage us to take another breath and let it out on an Om, if you would like. So let's breathe together. And we know that as we're gathered here this morning, that together we are co-creating a circle of unconditional love, where everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included. So in this circle of love this morning, I would like to share the welcoming prayer by Father Thomas Keating, and then just have a few moments of silence after that. The welcoming prayer says, welcome, welcome, welcome. I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know it is for my healing. I welcome all thoughts all feelings, all emotions, all persons, all situations, and all conditions. I let go of my desire for power and control. I let go of my desire for affection, esteem, approval, and pleasure. I let go of my desire for survival and security. I let go of my desire to change any situation, any condition, any person, or even myself. I open to the love and presence of God and God's action within. Let's just take a moment in the silence and reflect in the stillness. And we know that in the stillness, there is hope. It lights the way as we travel far to our certain goal of oneness with love. Blessed be. Go and everything I do, I rest in God. Everything I see and everything I feel, I rest in God. 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 Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Just rest in God. Just rest in God. Just rest in God. Just rest in God. I am not a body, I am free, and I rest in God. I am as God created me, and I rest in God. Sing it with me if you like. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. One last time, sing it with me. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. Blessed be. Hi, everybody. So those of you who haven't met me or are not used to me, I was here last month, and the day I was here, the day before, I fell down a flight of stairs. And so when I was here to speak, I wasn't able to do much at all. I was kind of just sitting in that chair, and that was kind of it. But it's been, so I was feeling okay when I was here, you know. I was like, okay, you know, I just knocked the breath out of myself. I'll be all right. So on the drive home, I started feeling some pain, you know, and then I woke up Monday morning. This was Labor Day weekend, and it was incredibly intense pain. So I went to the emergency room, discovered I broke 3 ribs. And guess what I've been doing for 3 weeks? Surrendering! So this has been quite a year of surrender for me, actually. And I should have probably called this homily today Surrender Part 2, or maybe it's Part 3. It might even be Part 4. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it's been quite a year. For those of you who don't know, my husband passed in 2024, and then I moved to Vermont, to our homestead in Vermont, and started life all over again. So it's been quite a year. Then I fell down the stairs. Yay! So the practice of surrender has been really up for me. So I thought I'd share Part 2 or 3 or 4, or whatever this is, with you today. And of course, I love A Course in Miracles, so thank you, Dad. It's actually one of my very favorite passages, and I actually have written a song to that passage, so at some point I'll share that with you. And then I Rest in God, which I just sang, is also from the course, Lesson 109, and that's been a real healer for me, because literally I've been resting in God. But actually, you know, when you think about it, we're always resting in God, no matter what's going on, if we just understand that, you know, if we just click into that. So whatever's happening, I really appreciate your sharing, Cliff, about what's been happening for you. So inspiring, so wonderful. And even through, so many of us have stories of pain and, you know, different things we go through, and grief and loss, and that is what we know as the human experience, right? So none of us are gonna really go through life without having something that's incredibly challenging to face. So this is how I'm facing everything. I used to think that the practice of surrender was just giving up, you know, like a loss of hope. Sort of like, you know, okay, I surrender, sort of like that. And it's very emotional for me, but feeling your emotions is not a bad thing, right? So I stand in front of you, and sometimes I get really overcome, and I've learned to just let that happen and just feel my way through it. I used to think that it was some kind of defeat to be able to express and feel and express my emotions with people present, right? No, I have to be strong. How many of you feel like you gotta be strong, right? That's what I was taught. And we are. But see, the thing is that we are. So my thing has been like, no, I can't show emotion because, I won't come across as strong. So who am I trying to impress, right? First of all, So now I see surrender as allowing myself to be guided by something that's much, much bigger than my little small mind that wants to control, right? Or the ego, the ego mind. And again, there's nothing wrong. One thing that I've learned through all of this, I'm going to say right out front, is that it's all happening at once for me, right? None of it is bad. None of it is wrong. So the ego's not wrong. I'm giving my ego a break. Like, you know what I mean? It's part of our multidimensional human experience. And I don't want to demonize my ego because there's nothing wrong with it, It's here for a functioning purpose. We're here in this three-dimensional world, and we need the ego to navigate these learning devices through this world. Now, the thing is that we place all this importance and value on the ego thought system, right? That's where we get into trouble. So listening to guidance is surrender. Listening to guidance is the way out of believing in the illusion that the ego is trying to talk to you about, or that way. So one of the other lessons that has really been coming up for me is in my defenselessness, this is the way the Course puts it, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. What? What? What'd you just say to me, Spirit? In my defenselessness. It also says, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Well, there's an awful lot I'd like to defend myself about. Put them up! I mean, somebody will say something or whatever, la la la, la 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 la. There's all kinds of things. You can go down a huge rabbit hole with that one, right? But why? Why do I want to do that to myself? Well, I'm going to explore that just a little bit more. The point for me is to stop fighting, to stop thinking that this small little me is in control. Because life has shown me that that's not the case. Not just this past year, but when I look back on my journey, I've never been in control. I've always, because I was raised in a way that celebrated and idolized control, I have spent most of my adult life trying to wrestle life into what I think it should be. Can anybody relate to that? I think it should be this way, and it's supposed to be this way. And certainly when Glenn and I got married in, 20 years, and then we bought the land and everything, we were supposed to, that was our forever home. That's where we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. And I'm sure many of us in this congregation have had a similar experience where someone that you dearly love has either left the planet or left, you've parted ways. That's painful. It's incredibly painful. So, what do I do? I lay down my defenses. Why is it this way? I lay down my defenses. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. And in that, something bigger takes over. Now, I know we use the word God, and of course I love that word. However, you can think of that word, because we're not saying here that God is a person sitting out there on a chair somewhere and that we're, on a throne. So we can think of that. I think of it as life force energy, right? I mean, that's kind of how I describe it, or the sacred mystery. So the point to me is to lay down my arguments, my fighting, my defenses, and to really just allow life to have its way with me. And that's why I read that prayer. It's been a real steadying, grounding prayer for me. And it's touchy too. I don't know when you were listening to it if it triggered anything in you, but it's really so completely surrender. I lay down my desire for esteem, survival. Oh my God, what? Lay down my desire for approval, what? Oh my God. I'm a singer-songwriter. I have to have an audience. I have to be approved of, you know what I mean? Wow, how about if I just lay all of that down? Doesn't mean I won't have the opportunity to do what I love to do, of course not. But maybe it comes in a form, in a way that I had never imagined before. And actually, speaking right now here at Unity and over these past few months that you've asked me to come and speak, has been transformative for me. Because if you remember Glenn, he was the speaker, right? He was the guy, he was very smart and very heart-centered, but he was the speaker and I was the music person, right? I never really thought that I could be here and deliver a message just from my heart to yours, And you've given me that opportunity. But still I struggle. Do you guys? Sometimes I really struggle with this. And I try to make deals with God. Have you ever done that? It's like, okay, God. Right. Okay, God. Okay, I'm surrendered. I'm sitting here. I'm in pain. I'm surrendered. But I'm only going to surrender. I'm really only going to really do it if I get X, Y, and Z from you. Okay, I'm here. Now give me X, Y, and Z, right? Oh, Lord. That's not surrender. That's negotiation. That's sitting at the bargaining table with God. Oh, yeah. So when I do that, I am thinking of God as this person out there somewhere that I have to negotiate with, right? Or appease in some way or something in order for me to get what I want. Well, what if I don't get what I want? What then? I surrender. And I see where that takes me. I've begun to recognize that deep in my soul, something's shifting. The world is shifting. Humanity is shifting. We're alive right now at this time and this place to experience the shift. And we are the lights. We, you and I, are the light of the world. And we're here at this important time in humanity to show everyone and to connect with Spirit and to be that light, that guiding light. Now we have to do it for ourselves first. It's not an agenda of, again, you can take anything and make it about control or anything, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna get right with God so I can make you right with God, right? No. That's not even the terms we use. But sometimes, I don't know, because of my conditioning and the way I was raised, that goes on in here, you know? So, oh, let me read you this one from the course. Simply do this. This is lesson 189. Simply do this. Be still. Be still and lay aside all of your thoughts of what you are and what God is, all concepts you have learned about the world, all the concepts that I've learned about the world. Can I be willing to lay that aside? I can just be willing to be willing. How about that? That'll work. That's the starting point. Lay aside all images you hold about yourself. Lay aside all images you hold about yourself. Be they good, be they bad. Oh, you know, I'm this good person, I'm this bad person. Oh, I said something wrong, I did something wrong. Blah, blah, blah. What if you didn't? What if life is living itself through you? And yeah, you know, the ego ride can be bumpy, and yeah, maybe I said something that offended you, and I apologize. You know, I'm sorry for that. But I'm still on the train. I'm still resting in God. You see what I mean? I'm still surrendered. Underneath all of it, if I want to see it, I'm surrendered. I'm at peace, and I can access it at any time throughout the day, in any situation. Any situation. Wow. Oh my gosh. The ego tells me, my ego says, if I work hard enough, if I manifest it, everything right, then, you know, everything will be just the way I want it. Okay. So, again, that's negotiating. And sometimes we use it, we manifest anyway. We're manifesting right this moment. Here we are, you know? So it's not like, oh, I want a car, and then boom, it happens, you know? It's the quantum field of the energies. It's a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of thoughts together that create the world that we see, right? So there's no right or wrong way to manifest anything. I mean, I hold in my heart the visions that I have for my life and the love that I want to see in the world. I hold that in my heart. And as I walk through life and as I realize, you know, that which I envision actually is living in me and through me, then I do see the things I want to see in the world. But I also see things that I don't like. And that's okay too. I bring them in. I surrender. I bring them in. I remember the circle of love, where everything that I like and everything that I do not like is included. So, I have a little story. which kind of illustrated this for me, and it was really funny. I have a friend that was, I live in Vermont now, and I have a friend that was visiting from out of town, and they were at Keating, which is a ski resort, and it's about an hour and a half away from me, right? Well, I didn't know how to get to Keating. So what I did, which is I'm sure what we all do, is put it GPS, right? So I use Google Maps. And so I'm driving along, and this is Vermont, so it's all, you know, mountain towns and everything, and I'm cutting across to get to this place that's also in the mountains. So I'm just driving along, and she says, the voice says, turn right. And I'm like, okay, you know. Now where am I? I'm on this dirt road on top of a mountain with nothing around. I don't know where I am. I have no clue. Never been on this road before. And then she goes, okay, go 6 miles. Okay. I go 6 miles. Turn left. Okay. Oh, look, there's the highway. Oh, now I know where I am. I don't accept God's guidance that easily. Think about that for a second. I just plug in something to Google Maps and go, sure. I don't know where the hell I am. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But God gives me guidance, and it's a small voice. It's not the big, loud Google Map voice. It's a small voice. And it says, do this. And I'm like, really? Why would I do that? Doesn't make no sense. So as an example, this was coming to me as I was driving back and forth, you know, to visit my friend. So I was coming back, and so I said, okay, God, I need a hair clip. So this is really, I'm vain and stuff. So I had to have a clip for my hair, right? And listen, I'm in a rural place. There's no Walgreens, there's no Duane Reade, there's no Rite Aid, there's nothing, right? So, so I get this guidance that says, go to the general store in Jamaica. Jamaica's a little town. It's this big. Go to the general store in Jamaica. And I'm like, why? It's the first thing I say. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Still, the voice says, go to this general store in Jamaica. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to follow guidance. I get to the store and it's closed. And about the same time I drive up, another car drives up, goes to the store, and it's closed. He turns around, he looks at me. He was looking for the town office. He turns around and he looks at me, and he's really upset. Like, do you know where the town office is? And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. And he's like, oh God, thank you. Thank you. So I have no idea. I have no idea what that meant for him. I didn't get my hair clipped, but at least I was telling her the last time. She goes, why don't you go over there now when it's open? I bet your hair clip will be there. So I'm going to say. But isn't that funny, right? So that made me look at, you know, what voices I'm listening to. And as we all know, we have myriads of voices. Glenn used to say, you know, Holy Spirit's is the voice that likes you, which I love that because it's quiet, it's sweet, you know. Go to Jamaica to the general store. But you know what? I felt so lovely after that strange little brief experience. There was a feeling of, oh, I followed guidance. No matter, I have no clue what difference it made to that guy, but it did make a difference to me. And I love driving through Vermont, so why not? Oh, goodness. So I've learned that surrender doesn't make me passive. It doesn't make me lazy. In fact, yeah, I really think it calls me to a deeper participation with life itself, capital L. You know, there's the phrase, go with the flow. And I love that phrase, I always have. As I get older and as I keep practicing, it becomes more alive for me. Go with the flow of life. Where's life taking you? So I want to do something right quick, just a brief moment, but let's just take a moment to go inside. And just notice what's going on up in here. What voice is really present with you right now? And don't try to spiritualize it away. Just see what's actually happening. Let's just take a moment. And then let's just question, am I willing to surrender to this? Am I willing to be willing to surrender to this? And it's even okay if the answer is no. Because the opportunity will come back around. So there's nothing to be afraid of. We welcome everything that comes into our life, in our thoughts, in our physical space. We welcome it all because it's here for our healing. And that is the miracle of surrender. The open participation in life. Blessed be. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Whoa, my safety lies. When I feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests. The world is illusion with guilt and with shame, defense and attack over and over again. But I'm not the victim of the world I see. I am the power of let it be. Oh yeah, yeah, let it be. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Whoa, my safety lies. And so I look past my dreams today, and all my fears I gladly toss away. 'Cause I am surrendered and I stand secure. Deep in the stillness, weakness disappears. I listen to the voice for love that guides my path. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Well, hallelujah. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Whoa, my safety lies. In my defenselessness,